Welcome back, everyone. We're Simply Bitcoin. This is the weekend recap. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, the websites by plebs. We are going to the numbers. Let's do it.
Number time! Number Time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference ever. It's going to be hosted in sunny Miami Beach. But quick, get your tickets now before the price goes up in 2 days. But take advantage of the link down below for 10% off your ticket to Bitcoin 2022.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 712,790. The Bitcoin price, 49,260. Chain rewrite days, 813. Total public lightning capacity, 3,272.47. Moscow time, 2030. Blocks to the halvening, 127,210.
Well, there's some good
news.
The
numbers.
There's some good news. Good news is the block height made another all-time high. Woo!
And we got the stack. I am completely out of dry powder, which is horrible. I've actually never been so low on dry powder. So
man, I've been out of powder for a minute now, Phil.
I know, no pity for me.
A minute, but yeah, man.
There's no pity for me.
This was it was another, man, this is what Bitcoin does. They don't call it the Bitcoin roller coaster for no reason. You pay every emotional toll for hodling. That's the price of Bitcoin. But Phil, I got some actual signal as to what the fuck happened. Anyways,
nice.
Let me pull it up.
We're gonna talk about some liquidations.
We are going to talk about some liquidations. Check this out. Total liquidations. Don't leverage, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens. The last 24 hours, $2.59 billion were liquidated. Got some more stats. And this is Caitlin Long. She's trying to set up the Avanti Bitcoin Bank in Wyoming. She talks about what exactly happened. Leveraged drawdowns can be brutally swift. But here's the benefit. Check this out, Phil. Bitcoin has no lender of last resort to bail out intermediaries or stabilize its price. This is a feature, not a bug. They help keep Bitcoin's interest rate pure, unaffected by built-up circulation credit, which is being liquidated today, right? So this is actual capitalism. This is the actual markets reacting. They don't do that in the stock market anymore. I think there's like a lever that gets switched and stuff.
Yeah.
You saw. Yeah.
They have a they actually do have a I forget what it's called.
It was like a kill switch.
But they do have a kill switch, yeah. So they will halt the market if it dips too much or something like that, and they'll allow it time to quote unquote settle.
This is pure capitalism, right? This is legit. There's no one to stop this, right? It just trades. Now, there's a silver lining. Let's check that out. This is a tweet from Glassnode. Bitcoin futures markets have experienced a significant deleveraging event. Check that out. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what this is it's a clear out. We're clearing the gunk out. The speculators got wrecked in the short and long positions, leverage longs. They got out. They got kicked out. Look at that, Phil. Total massacre. And that's a good thing. You want those speculators out because when the price recovers, right, it's going to be built on actual, spot Bitcoin purchases rather than this leverage BS, right? And here is a last data point. It is by TXMC Trades. Great YouTube channel. Highly recommend it. Yesterday's liquidation cascade was the second largest day event of 2021 in Bitcoin terms, bested only by the May 19th crash. You guys all remember that. That was brutal, right? And here it is, right? Check this out. Check this chart out, right? That's a lot of freaking Bitcoin, dude. Total meltdown. But again, this is what I was telling you, Phil. This is the market healing itself. And I think Caitlin Long had an amazing point, which was, dude, this is what a free market is supposed to deal with. This is what it's supposed to be like, right? Without any type of government intervention trying to stop the price. Stop trading, and that's what it is. And it's clearing out the speculation. It's clearing out the junk. It's clearing out the gamblers, bro. That's exactly what they did. A whale, I'm assuming, saw that. They saw all the leveraged positions, and you know what they did? They dumped it to liquidate those positions. That's exactly what happened, and that's what caused this massive dump. Let's see what happens next. Phil?
Man, I'm sorry. I was looking for a tweet because there was a tweet from a Bitcoiner, I think, that said that they had like a stop loss or something like that at some point, and they got stopped out, so they ended up losing like 1.6 Bitcoin.
Oh, 1.8. I saw that.
1.8. Okay,
that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, it's just so rough, you know? And it's like, you know, and for those of us that just, you know, we do not have, you know, the capital to stack massive amounts of Bitcoin, like 1.6 takes a long, or 1.8 takes a long time to reaccumulate. So that is just, look, you know what? Don't play on the exchanges. I mean, look, you're not going to beat the algorithms. You're not going to beat the whales, okay? Like this is not the battlefield that you want to be playing on. Just stack and hodl. And you know, like Matt Odell says, you know, you stay humble, you keep your head down, you keep researching about Bitcoin, and you build your conviction. So that when stuff like this happens, you don't even flinch. Like pretty much when this happens, all that happens to me is that I get upset that I don't have more dry powder.
Same.
That's all that happens. Like it's the only reaction. I don't sit there and go, oh no, oh that's it, we're done. I'm like, all that happens is, oh no, I don't have any dry powder for this.
Yep.
Like I'm not saying, again, like I'm not advocating that you go out and do that, but I'm just saying, like, that's my reaction. You know, and that's because of my conviction level, and that's because where I'm at. So
what do you think about all the speculators getting cleaned out? That's healthy.
Oh, yeah. I totally think that's healthy. I think that's, yeah, sorry, I didn't bring that up. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You know, like, look, at the end of the day, right, like those people, they're just adding noise. Like they're adding noise to the price. Granted, I understand that to a certain extent, a healthy market, of course, must include all actors. Right? Like that's just the way it works. You need, you know, you just need to have everybody there. So, but yeah, I absolutely think it's healthy. And look, when we go to 100K, do we want to, you know, do we necessarily want to bring those people? I don't know.
Exactly. You don't want to
unless they really want to be there. And if they want to be there, they're going to hodl.
They're
right?
They're going to buy at spot, right? You don't want to bring all that leverage speculation along the ride. So I completely agree with you, man. This is what free markets are supposed to be like, but we've just been operating in this like, dude, I don't know what other words to use. This socialized free market where it's like, you know, there's too big to fail, bail out if they make too big of a mistake. But this is Bitcoin, and it's exactly what Catlin Long said. There's no one to bail you out, bro.
Okay, you know, I just want to add one last point. I did see another tweet from some no coiner guy that was essentially, you know, bashing about the fact that there was a 25% drop in Bitcoin. And to your point, right? Volatility is not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, this is part of it. This is what a real market is like, okay? And not only that, but we are experiencing an emerging asset going through its market cycles. Look, if you don't appreciate that, that's your freaking problem.
It wasn't a shitcoiner. It was Jim Craner. He's like, this is too volatile.
It was another guy.
Oh, it was another guy.
There was another one.
They're all bitchy.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, and right away, they're so quick. Oh, the 25% correct. You're never going to be a currency. And that's not stable. And okay, what are you using? What are you using? Have we not been getting poorer or what? Just because everything that we make is cheaper and crappier, you think that your life is better? Well, like people are just being hypocrites. Like don't be a hypocrite.
That's the scam with fiat, Phil. It's that like it steals from you just so slightly for you not to notice. Like that 2%. I feel like they found that number. Like this is a magic number because they won't notice that we're stealing from them. You know, so like it's just so stupid. Like all of them, they're such hypocrites. All of them, dude. It's like this could never be a currency. It's like, but it goes up. Your currency goes, okay, fine. It's slow, but it slowly steals from you versus Bitcoin. Yeah.
So Nico, let me ask you this. If I wanted to buy something off of you and send you and offer you Bitcoin, would you accept it?
Abso-freaking-lutely, I would.
Okay. I would do the same. Bingo. We have a currency. That's it. We're willing to accept it from each other. Yeah. I think that's it. We're willing to accept it and trade. I don't see what else matters. Man. You know, like we both accept the volatility of it. We understand its proposition. We understand what it means to us. That's it. Anyways, these guys are fools, and they are going to totally sound like cavemen one day.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure they're going to lock Peter Schiff in an insane asylum because he's just been screaming like, this is gonna go to zero. It's like, meanwhile, 50,000% up, like, in this is gonna go to zero. Like, come on, man.
I have no love for Jim Cramer. I have zero love for Jim Cramer. I have pounded on this drum like my whole life about Jim Cramer. He has deceived investors for so long, okay? And strictly because of MasterCard and Visa, right? Because I understand those companies' propositions so well. I remember this guy, and like, obviously I'm the old guy here, so I can go back to this. Like 15 years ago, he was sitting there telling people MasterCard's overvalued. This was MasterCard at $40 per share, mind you, okay? And Visa had just come out on the market. They're overvalued, they're laden in debt, and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And in the meantime, both of them went on to destroy the averages because, duh, look at all the money printing. Do you not think that all of these transaction volumes are just going to go up? And who's making all these transactions? And who owns all these networks? Like, you're such a piece of crap. And then all of a sudden, MasterCard gets to like $300 and it had split already or something like that, or it was about to split. And then he's sitting there and he's like, those are good buys. Like you are such a prick. Like, think about it, man. He comes from those people. You don't think like, dude, he was telling people not to buy those bags in order to tell people to buy those bags.
Phil, he was the original influencer. He was the original influencer before there was YouTube. He was the first influencer. He's the first influencer before there was YouTube. There was Jim Cramer. But
it's true. Okay.
It's true. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail is brought to you by Amber app. Check them out. Amber.app. It's Bitcoin made easy. The easiest way to buy Bitcoin. The link is down below. Ditched me for Nico, and then I didn't get to see you all weekend.
Malaka.
Yellow, I'm so glad you're back.
Amber, the smart way to stack sats.
As I was discussing with Nico, I did have a small little laughing fail for all of us with the NFTs and essentially some guy talking about how he's getting loaded off of NFTs, walking through a giant hallway of screens with his NFTs on the wall. Anyways, it was pretty cringe. But unfortunately, we can't show that. So we are going to dive right into this fail, which is the BitMart hack. What happened to BitMart? And of course, I dug into this. And yeah, you're going to see some pretty interesting stuff with BitMart and how it's kind of like a bit of a circle jerk of money. Anyways, I know we're all very surprised by that, but it's always nice to see anyways, right? It's like validation. You're like, oh, that again. Okay, here we go. Crypto exchange BitMart confirms hack resulting in loss of 150 million in shitcoins and Bitcoin. Here we go. Crypto exchange BitMart said late Saturday that it had suffered a hack resulting in the loss of 150 million worth of Bitcoin and shitcoins. Founder and CEO Sheldon Sia later confirmed the incident, writing on Twitter, "We have identified a large-scale security breach related to one of our ETH hot wallets and one of our BSC hot wallets. At this moment, we are still concluding the possible methods used." The hackers were able to withdraw assets of the value of approximately 150 million US. Sia went on to write that the exchange is conducting a thorough security review and that all withdrawals are suspended until further notice. That's right. Not your keys, not your coin. So if you've got a bunch of, if you had a bunch of money on BitMart, you're on hold. Mm-hmm. That's some scary stuff. So right now, your money's being held hostage, but if you're used to the banking system, you're probably used to this. Your money being held hostage. Anyways, I know they actually let us withdraw it and use it, but still. At 7:30 p.m. UTC, PeckShield first notice. PeckShield, right? We all remember them, right? They're the famous auditing firm. Yeah, don't worry. You'll see some other auditing firms that are going to look familiar later on. Anyways, first noticed an excessive amount of outbound transfers. It found that a range of tokens had been sent out of BitMart's hot wallet starting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These tokens included large amounts of meme tokens like Shiba plus $500,000 in stablecoin USDC. Okay. So, let's take a look at this date. December 4th, this exchange got hacked for $150 million. Let's go take a look at BitMart. We went to App Deals. They're a Cayman Islands company. And you can't see anything about them, okay? Okay, fine. So I couldn't see anything about them. So we're going to go, hop on over to their website. It's the most trusted cryptocurrency trading platform, Nico.
It's like CNN,
I just wanted to point that out to everyone.
The most trusted name in news.
It's the most trusted name in news, right? And this is the most trusted cryptocurrency platform, Nico. So we obviously have no idea what we're talking about. But anyways, we're going to continue on. So interestingly enough, it was very difficult to find very much about this company at all. Just, digging around online. But still, I highlighted for everybody the About Us, the partners, and this Amplio Capital. This is interesting, Amplio Capital. But anyways, we're gonna hop on over first to the About Us, because these are all important things that we're going to put together for this story. The priorities. Okay? It's their priorities, guys. Just want everybody to note. Trustworthy. Trust. As of the fundamental of the financial system and the core of the decentralized token economy, we fully understand all of the challenges that the cryptocurrency ecosystem is facing too. Hence, we are committed into compliance, reliability, security, customer care, and to deliver a seamless user experience built on trust.
Phil, can I say something? Hold on. Go back to that thing. Dude. Okay. Trust as of the fundamental of the financial system. So Toshi said that is the problem with central banks, is the fact that you have to trust them, right? Bitcoin fixes this, and the core to the decentralized token economy, there it is, a Freudian slip. Trust is the core to the decentralized token economy. That's a fucking paradox. That contradicts itself. So so DeFi is based on trust. It's not really decentralized finance then. Bitcoin, there is no trust. The trust is minimized. Anyways, I'm sorry, Phil.
Great. But you see, isn't it wonderful how it's all just words? They just put words. It's just words. That's it. We're the most trusted platform. Boom. Our priority is trustworthiness. Doesn't matter, $150 million hack. But wait.
This is the exact opposite of what Bitcoin represents. The exact opposite. There is in Bitcoin, the incentives align. There is no trust required, right? If I send you a transaction, Phil, you don't have to trust me. I send you the TX. You either know you got it or you don't.
That's right.
And with this, there you go. You trust somebody, you get $150 million stolen. Anyways.
Boom. And guess what? If your funds didn't get stolen, well, too bad. They're frozen because my investigations. There you go. Got to deal with the investigation. Sorry, your money's frozen. Too bad for you. All right, next, right? Let's keep going. This is their partner portal.
Wait,
I
really?
love the partnership parade. This is the partnership parade. Look at this. You know who Certic is? No. Certic is another one of those auditing firms. This is a partner. This is a partner, Nico, to an exchange that just got hacked for $150 million. So Peck Shields went and explained about it, right? But one of their partners, right at the top, is Certic, which provides auditing services. And nobody caught any of that stuff. Look at this. QuantStamp, which is a shitcoin and provides auditing services. I don't know why an auditing service requires to be money. But for some reason, QuantStamp has crossed that bridge. So, look at this. These are all the partners, man. A lot of partners. A lot of shitcoin partners, right? The partnership parade. This helps with the validation because you come over, you take a look at this and you say to yourself, you know what? This is trustworthy. Look at all of these people. Look at all these companies. Okay, fine. So, the last piece was Amplio Capital, which is really kind of interesting, Amplio Capital. So I go to their Twitter, and there really isn't much about them. They don't have a website or anything like that. But I find this tweet from Sheldon from Sheldon Sia, which is the CEO of BitMart, right? The CEO and co-founder of BitMart. Check this out. November 29th. Do you remember that date of the hack? The date of the article, December 4th? November 29th. Thanks to the support of Alexander Capital Ventures, Alpha Square Group, and Chaos Ventures, we will continue to improve user experience and create value for the industry. We'd also like to thank all of our BitMart community members and BMX holders. Nico, what WTF am I talking about? BitMart announces Series B raise. So they announced a raise, and 4 days later, they get hacked for $150 million? So when you actually go click on this Amplify, what are they called again? The Amplio Capital link, okay? It brings you to this, BitMart Labs. BitMart Labs is an international blockchain incubation platform launched by the premier global digital asset trading platform, BitMart. BitMart cooperates with world's top funds in providing a variety of powerful services, including technical and marketing solutions. for high-quality projects so as to help the development and incubation of potential projects. BitMart Labs is dedicated to selecting quality projects with the strictest standards and elevating them to the next level. So this is like a marketing arm that somehow invests in BitMart that BitMart invests in.
Very weird stuff, dude.
So hold on a second. So then I was able to go on Cyber Hunter and just find this. Amplio Capital Research is an international venture capital powered by BitMart. It's what I just told you. So somehow they're like going around in circles with the money. BitMart's going into Amplio Capital, but Amplio Capital's going into BitMart, right? Because they're marketing BitMart.
Super.
Their marketing arm of the same company, but they're not the same company. Anyways, dude, this stuff gets really confusing. There are so many different players. I feel like there's this like whole shady layer that like we just don't see anything about. Anyways.
We might not be seeing it, but dude, you keep fucking unraveling that onion, bro. Be careful. The shitcoiners might take you out. But yeah,
Stop
dude.
giving them ideas, Nico. You're an ass.
But dude, that there's some shady stuff going on in there. And then 4 days later, conveniently
$150 million hack?
Conveniently $150 million hack. And it's like, how do you verify that they really got hacked, right? How do you verify this? Oh, that's right. Because you have to trust them, because they're the most trusted cryptocurrency exchange. Man, look.
You saw their top priorities, Nico.
Dude, when you read that top priority and you were reading, I was like, that can't be serious. Because it's like, that's literally the opposite of what Bitcoin represents. Bitcoin figured out how to transact between two parties without a minimal layer of trust, right? Like, and then they're saying that the cryptocurrency or the decentralized cryptocurrency, the staple is trust. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you trust. They were doing that in the fiat system, right? The banks were doing that in the fiat system. Shitcoin exchanges are doing it now. And you know what, Phil? That is some really shady stuff, because they marketed it as if it was like an independent, like, raise of money. But if you dig deep into it, it's by themselves. It's like, what is going on there? And it's like, and they don't really advertise it a lot, because if they did, they would have it more. They would have more Twitter followers. So I think it was just to kind of sweep things under the rug, maybe. All I gotta say, dude, is that that's some very sketchy stuff. And dude, I'm surprised. Look, all those other exchanges, because I saw some legit exchanges on that partner list, like Gemini. They must all be into this, dude, in some way or the other. They must benefit from this shitcoinery.
It's a giant circle jerk, and we're not invited.
Yeah, apparently, dude. But wow.
You don't want the truth tellers in those circles. We're no fun at these parties,
dude. That is
we're no fun while you're trying to pitch your shitcoin.
That is so sketchy, man. That is some sketchy stuff. By the way, guys, we always provide our sources down below. Mm-hmm. So make sure to double check it yourself, because I'm just in awe as you guys are. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. Holy crap, Phil. Man, Phil, the shitcoin exchange slayer. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily Meme Review. Daily Meme Review is sponsored by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. It's different artwork every volume, but be quick, because there's only 1,000 copies made per volume. They're scarce. Anyways, get your copy of Citadel 21 today. All right, guys, the first meme, you're going to have to forgive me, okay? Because this isn't necessarily a Bitcoin meme, but it was that funny, so I wanted to cover it. Anyways, stock traders, crypto traders, replace that, put Bitcoin, okay? Use your imagination. 40%. It's true, dude, and it's exactly what we were talking about earlier, Phil, where it's like, this is the socialized, non-free market. And doesn't that look like Paul Krugman?
It does actually kind of look like Krugman.
It's like, what's going on here? And then, this is Bitcoiners just kind of laughing, right? But Bitcoiners would have the laser eyes. He's going to have fun staying poor. That 40%'s never going to come back up. Anyways, next one. It's by Leota Strike Back. I think they killed the other Leota. So Leota's,
a few of his accounts.
Leota's back again. Anyways, it's the sheep. And the only Bitcoiner in the sheep. Absolutely hilarious. Moving on to the next one. It is by Lewis. And reminder, guys, the printer is coming. And that's Jerome Powell.
That's right. The Winter of Burr.
Winter of Burr. And last but not least, it is by Ivan Ali, like a boss. And it's Nayib Bukele buying 150 Bitcoin on a phone. We're going to get to that in the news in a second. But absolutely phenomenal memes. And I had to pull up the crypto trader one because it was so funny. It's so true. I just hope a Bitcoiner would come up with it. Anyways, for those memes, Phil, I'm going to give it a 3D printed node case that I got from Cloaks that I got for my girlfriend. Right? So it's nice and pink. It's cool.
Nice. When
I gave it to her, she was like, "Thank you, I guess." Anyways, Phil, what would you give those memes?
It's definitely not the gift that they were looking for, right? They were looking for a different gift.
I was like, "This is your own bank. This is it right here." She's like, "Does it have diamonds?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"No,
exactly.
This is sovereignty." And she's like, "What?"
This isn't a Louis. This isn't that's not what you were supposed to get. Anyways, okay, so those were great memes, and I'm gonna give it this very specialized. One of my best friends gave me this screwdriver many years ago, and I have used it ever since. It's very special. It's Eltron Electronics.
Ooh.
And if you know, you know. But it's a two-sided, right? It's a two-sided screwdriver, so you've got both going on there.
Phenomenal.
That's right.
Phenomenal. Great score.
Very good utility.
I don't think I could beat that. Great scores.
That node was pretty killer.
I thought so too. I thought so.
Was pretty killer.
I thought so too. Then I gave it to my girlfriend.
When did
She's
you
like,
give it to her?
Dude, I gave it to her like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got so excited. When I told her, she got excited about it. She's like, "Oh my god, you got me a node kit!" And then when I showed it to her, she was like, "Oh, okay," you know. And I told her, I was like, I'll help you build it and stuff, you know. Like it looks pretty nice, bro.
What if you gave it running? Like, what if you put the Raspberry Pi in there, got it all set up, everything? All she had to do was power it up and then go through the initial setup process.
She would probably have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
But she thanked me anyway, so that was nice. Anyways, guys,
It's a thought that counts.
It is a thought that counts. It is a thought that counts. Guys, follow us on Rumble. Follow us on Bitcoin TV.
Yes.
Remember, we post Monday through Saturday, rain or shine, unless we specifically tell you we're not going to post on Twitter. So if you don't find us on YouTube one day and we didn't tell you about it, find us on Rumble, find us on Bitcoin TV, and of course all the podcast platforms also. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily News. The Daily News is brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the 3D printed Bitcoin Honey Badger, and has space for your favorite hardware wallet. And also the 3D printed Bitcoin grenade arts on screws. Put your open dabs in there. Really cool stuff. And you can take advantage of the link down below for 5% off CryptoCloaks.com. All right, check out this tweet from our friends at Bitcoin Magazine. And this is the very, very famous economist, Milton Friedman. And apparently he was predicting Bitcoin back in 1999. I haven't seen this video, but I thought you guys would find it interesting. Anyways, let's check it out.
So that I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces for reducing the role of government. The one thing that's missing, but that will soon be developed, is a reliable e-cash, a method whereby on the internet you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A. So
that's actually fascinating because I remember, let's riff on this a little bit. That is exactly what the thesis of the sovereign individual was, right? Like he made the same thesis, which is essentially his argument instead of the internet was that semiconductors would essentially make government's role in people's lives less and less and less, and it would empower individuals. Now, the only missing piece was Bitcoin, right? Was our ability to transact with each other. Because think about it. Like, we're able to talk with each other, which I think that's kind of the reason that a lot of these legacy media institutions are freaking out the way they are. Like, think about it. They're trying to pitch you the official narrative on the current thing that's happening in the world right now. But on Twitter, you're kind of seeing the truth, right? So it's like one thing's the official narrative, one thing's the truth, and now kind of apply that to money as well, right? They want you to use the official money, but then there's another money on the side. So, and I think Adam Back actually touched upon this when he came on the show, which was, I don't think that the governments or the nation states of the last century were ever going to survive the internet. And I think that we're kind of transitioning into a new era of freedom and individualism, right? The likes of which we've never seen before. And I think that the fact that, you know, Bitcoin empowers the individual so much to not only vote with their wallet, but also vote with their feet, right? The fact that you could store trillions of dollars in your mind by memorizing a 12-word seed phrase and then send it to anybody you want is incredibly empowering. And I don't think we know the full implications of that. But, dude, the sovereign individual nailed it. And now a really famous economist, but he was like, I like Milton Friedman's takes. Anyways, Phil, what are your thoughts?
So they've created a system of control that would work fantastically if the internet didn't exist. Okay, they got this thing right. Like they were like, you know, finally, it's like they're like, all right, we got this thing right. But unfortunately, the whole landscape has moved out from under them. You know how we've said that many times, right? Like that's the problem, right? It's this whole thing. They're trying to Frankenstein this system together, and it doesn't work. Right? Like the internet, I know that the internet has all these different agencies and all this different stuff, but at the end of the day, right, all of these things did not stop Tor, right? They didn't stop the Nutella network. Like they didn't stop all of these things. They're not stopping Bitcoin. You know, like it's like it kind of reminds me, interestingly enough, it's like I don't know if it's not the Ghost in the Machine, but essentially it's like, you know, now that these ecosystems exist, there's these organisms that are being born that they can't stop.
Yep.
Right? Like, and that's what's happening. It's like, you know, Bitcoin is the first one we're addressing. You know, money is being addressed. You know, like it's like, boom, that's it. You know, this organism is born, it exists, and here it goes. It's just going to suck up all the value because it has all the correct properties.
And
so
they don't know how to deal with it.
No, because again, they created a system for 1920. Man, they would be fantastic right now. If we could go back to 1950? Around 1950, they'd be all set. Like we go back to 1950 right now. They've got the TV, they've got the radio. All you have is the official narrative. You got the newspaper. Boom,
dude.
That's it, man. What else?
And they're free, and they don't know how to deal with it, dude. It's like, we got to censor this person, and then another Toyota account pops up. It's like, you delete me, another one comes up with the laser eyes. It's like, man, it's crazy, man. It's this decentralized immune system that just pops out, and then you add Bitcoin into the mix, which actually empowers people, man. And then you get a lot of brave people that are willing to stand up to the system and say, no, I don't want to participate. And if you mess with me too much, I'm just going to move to El Salvador. You know, like it's crazy times. But anyways, I just thought that was neat. Actually, moving on to the actual news now. Check out this tweet by Nayib Bukele. This is exact kind of talking about what we were talking about just now, about how the internet really changed everything. Before, this would have been an official release. No, this is the president of a country saying El Salvador just bought the dip. 150 coins at an average USD price of 48,670. How much do you think this pissed the people at the IMF that thought they built a perfect system, but unfortunately it's not the 1950s? How much do you think this pissed them off, Phil?
Yeah, this definitely pissed them off. And he continued to troll them.
Yeah, look.
He continued. He put out some other ones.
Look, there's a lot more dips. How much taxpayer money do you intend to waste? We're already in the green from our last purchase in less than 24 hours. You know, Boomer. We have 44,106 ounces of gold in our reserves, worth 79 million, down 0.37 from a year ago. If we had sold it a year ago and bought Bitcoin, it would now be valued at 204 million. This is what we're talking about This is what we're talking about. How the internet is it's a threat to the establishment, dude. This is just one big middle finger. You know, it's like, yeah, screw you. You know, and what could they do? You know, are they going to censor more? Oh, but we already know what they're doing. They're calling Nayib Bukele a dictator. That's what they're trying to do, right? It's so crazy, man. Okay, anyways, last tweet. Do you think he trades for the country on his laptop? Phone. Man, and this is exactly what we're talking about, dude.
I responded to this.
And where's this meme, right?
Yeah.
Right? This is him at the United Nations just laughing, buying Bitcoin. Man, absolutely hilarious. And look, this goes back to what we were talking about, Phil. Like, dude, this is the new age, bro. You have a president of a country essentially giving the middle finger to these antiquated institutions, just saying, dude, F you guys. I have better money, and you can't fuck with me anymore. Like, dude, it's freaking crazy. I'm awestruck. I just don't have words for this.
A president of a country, okay, wrecked Peter Schiff on Twitter, and we are laughing about this. Like, this is the reality. This is the reality tunnel we're in right now,
dude. Okay, and he's not only that. He bought the fucking dip.
He bought the dip. No, but there's even another tweet where he tweeted that he was upset that he missed the bottom by 7 minutes. So this guy is sitting there. He's watching freaking TradingView, okay, and he's buying the dip for the country. I want people to understand exactly what's happening right now.
They have no chance. Okay? They have no chance.
They have zero chance. This is so empowering. Imagine not having to go through this giant circle jerk, okay, of all these suits to go and make your investments. Like, these people, yeah. All of a sudden, you're going to have to figure out how to offer real value. That's right. Sitting behind a mahogany desk, staring at a ticker tape is just not providing value anymore. Mm-hmm. Sorry, not sorry. You know? Like...
Dude, they can't compete with this. What are they going to do?
Totally
That's the thing. Like, what could you offer, man? And honestly, Phil,
what time was it when he bought the dip? We should figure that out. Like, was he like half asleep and was like, "Oh my God, there's a Bitcoin dip"? Boom. He's half asleep. He's sitting there
in his presidential palace. Like, oh shit, Bitcoin fell.
They woke him up. Sir, the dip. It's happening now.
It's like President Bukele. Okay. It's like, oh fuck. Man, but look, let's connect this all together.
Joking aside.
Let's connect this all together, right? Like, look, you have the internet, which was the first move, right? The internet allowed people to communicate freely with each other in mass, right? And then you add Bitcoin, right? It's the disintermediation of information and the disintermediation of money, right? And what I suspect, Phil, is that what we're seeing right now is the last grasp at centralization, right? In order for these governments to maintain their power, they're trying to centralize and centralize and centralize more to try to get one last grasp over their population, bro. I really think that this is all this is about. I think they know the gig is up. I think that they know the money printer gig is up. I think that they know that because Phil, censorship can only work for so long. Okay, like, it only works for so long. And if you don't completely censor, there's always a hint of truth coming out of the woodwork, right?
And they
can't, right? So, man, it's exactly what Adam Back was saying. I think Max Kaiser said this as well, right? Which is like, look, the internet started the fire, and then Bitcoin just put a tank of gasoline on that fire of the nation state, right? So I think that's what we're seeing, and I think that we're heading into a renaissance of some sort of human freedom, the likes of which we have never seen before. And I suspect that's why most Bitcoiners I talk to, Phil, are extremely optimistic about the future, because we know what the world under a Bitcoin standard, what the possibilities of that world would be like based on what Bitcoin has done for us on an individual basis, not only from a monetary perspective, but also from a psychological perspective, bro. Think about it. Most of the world is still living in a fiat mindset.
Dude, we are living through. So this is the thing, right? Like, I used to sit there and wonder, like, why isn't banking friendlier, right? Why isn't banking better? And I forget who it was that said this to me, but they said it doesn't need to be. They have no competition. There's no competition. They don't need to be better. They get to do whatever they want. It doesn't matter that there's competing banks. They're all using the same crappy landscape. They're all using the same antiquated system. And frankly, they've got no reason to upgrade that shit. We are totally held by the balls. Excuse my language. That's exactly what it is. Like, we've got nothing, there's nothing else we can do, right? When you store your money in that, and not only that, but if you're buying stocks even, if you're 401ks, stuff like that, it's the same type of thing. Like, it's the feeling I always had. Like, even with a company 401k, you're a hostage. You don't just get to pull your money out. You have to take a loan against your money, or you have to pay a penalty. Why the hell would I have to pay a tax on something that I earned, that I chose to store? That's psychotic nonsense, and we all agree with it. That's completely insane.
Yep.
Okay? But now, as you know, we have Bitcoin. And now, hey, guess what? We don't have to be prisoners. We truly don't. Right? Part of the double-edged sword, yes, you're your own bank, right? It comes with its responsibilities, but at the same time, you're your own frickin' bank.
Absolutely.
That's,
It's crazy. But anyways, look, we made a lot of claims, which is, the old system, right? The establishment, the institutions are fearful of this new transition. But, Phil, I got some receipts to back that up. Check this out. Check out this article from our favorite Senator Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming. The Fed battles Wyoming on Bitcoin and shitcoins. Anyways, the Federal Reserve has an extraordinary responsibility to ensure a healthy economy and sound financial system for all Americans. That's the issue right there. That's the issue. That first sentence is the issue. Why should a group of elite people have all that power? Bitcoin fixes that without anybody controlling it, anyone dictating the rules, right? Anyways, unfortunately, over the past year, my faith in the Fed has been deeply shaken by its political approach to digital assets in my home state, Wyoming, greatly contributing to my concerns over President Biden's nominees, Jay Powell and Lael Barnard. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Anyways,
So I just want to add one thing. If you go back up, right? If you scroll back up, look at in the paragraph that you had. The Federal Reserve has an extraordinary responsibility. Replace that word with power. Has extraordinary power to ensure. Like, they use the word responsibility on purpose, okay? And it's to create a certain sense, right?
Absolutely.
They're giving you the mother-father state, right? We're taking care of you. We're responsible.
Yep.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're spot on. Very good, very astute observation, Phil. Anyways, in
Thank you.
2019, Wyoming began integrating digital assets, including Bitcoin and shitcoins, into the U.S. banking system. State legislators wrote bills addressing issues from asset custody to money laundering. As a part of this effort, they created a heavily regulated bank, the Special Purpose Depository Institution, or SPDIS. Wyoming checked every box, holding more than 100 meetings with the Board of Governors and Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. The Fed even provided input into Wyoming's comprehensive regulatory framework, as did Promontory Financial Group. Is an SPDI a bank? Without a doubt. It's eligible for deposit insurance, receives deposits relating to custodial and fiduciary activities, meeting the standard Congress set down in the Federal Reserve Act for what constitutes a bank. Should SPDIs have payment system access? Absolutely. Wyoming incorporated every principle from multiple Fed guidance documents. So let me translate what that means. That means that the Fed is actively, and what Cynthia Lummis had to say, politically not wanting to incorporate Bitcoin into the traditional financial system. That sounds very familiar, especially if you're listening to this show, right? Even though they checked all the boxes, the Fed still doesn't want to play along with Bitcoin and shitcoins. You know who else took that stance? The World Bank, right? Bitcoin must be accepted by World Bank according to charter, but you know what? The World Bank isn't accepting Bitcoin, even though it's in its own charter. And this happened back in June 17, 2021. The World Bank has poured cold water on El Salvador's adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender, saying it cannot support the move due to environmental and transparency concerns. BS. However, its founding document in the 1944 Articles of Agreement outlines the procedures and principles by which the World Bank pledges to engage with sovereign governments. A central theme in the document is its commitment to accept payments from member states in local currencies. The bank shall accept from any member in place of any part of the member's currency. So the World Bank is not following their own rules. You know who else is not following the world rules? The Fed. The Fed doesn't seem to care, however. Two Wyoming SPDIS guys basically means a Bitcoin bank, right? Kraken and Avanti's is Caitlin Long's attempt. We read you a tweet about her before when we were talking about the leverage situation. Received their bank charters in 2020. They applied for master accounts with the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City shortly after. Over a year later, the Fed hasn't started processing these applications, indicating it's still determining whether Bitcoin banks are banks, which is not a serious legal question. In fact, sounds very familiar to what the World Bank is doing. In fact, the Fed is violating the law by delaying. In 1994, Congress required the Fed to act on all applications within 1 year. Numerous federal courts have stated that the Fed has a duty to give payment systems access to all banks and credit unions conducting legal activities. The Fed itself has said its payment services will be available to all depository institutions on an equitable basis in an atmosphere of competitive fairness. Let me read you the charter from the World Bank. Also, the bank shall accept from any member in place of any part of the member's currency. So the Fed and the World Bank are not following their own goddamn laws when it comes to accepting Bitcoin in the traditional legacy system. Now, why is this good news? Because this means they're fucking scared shitless. That's what it means, right? So again, we told you guys, they're not going to play by the rules, which is connect this what we were talking about with Milton Friedman, right? Dude, they don't want to let go of that power. They built a very nice moat. They thought that moat was never going to be overcome. And the Bitcoin just built a better system outside of that moat. They're freaking out. They don't know what to do. This is going to be a hell of a fight. But honestly, I see this as really, really bullish news. Because if they weren't scared of it, they've already would have accepted it. If the World Bank wasn't scared of it, they already would have accepted it. But to quote Christine Lagarde's own words, Bitcoin is not a currency. Full stop. Right? So again, these people are hypocrites. They're not concerned about the public. They're concerned about protecting their own castle that they thought was going to last forever. But this is very nice to see. Phil?
Man, I love the way you put that story together. Look, this is the medicine they do not want to take. I mean, like, you can see that. Look at that. Like, they do not want to accept it, but yet, but let me ask you this, right? Who's to challenge them? Right? Like, look, they're not accepting it. You just showed right there. The Fed Reserve isn't even processing, Kraken or Avanti.
Can I show you a challenge before you finish your thought?
Absolutely.
That's the challenge.
No, but this is my point. No, but this is my point though, right? Like that is the challenge. But look, what's Kraken and Avanti to do, right? They're trying to get this ridiculous bank charter, right? Like, this seems important to them. So it's nonsense. Like, they have totally hit a wall. Like, who does the Fed answer to? This is my point. Who does the Fed answer to? The Fed doesn't answer to the government. So I just, this is like, to your point, man, like, they've lost. They don't know what to do. And this is the medicine. If they lose, okay? If they accept Bitcoin, then that's it. At that point, that just shows that they've now validated everything.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And if they continue to fight Bitcoin, they essentially expose themselves as the frauds they are, essentially the monetary frauds they are.
And Bitcoin will keep working outside of the system,
of course, and Bitcoin
regardless
just keeps
of what
going.
they do. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. What are they going to do, dude? But
they need an undo button.
It would be a coincidence if it was just the World Bank doing that. But the fact that it's the Federal Reserve and the World Bank taking the same stance on Bitcoin. And you look at the World Bank, it's transparency and environmental reasons. Transparency. So you're saying that Bitcoin is not more transparent than what's going on in the back doors of central banks, right? So it's
the most transparent financial ledger known to man.
Man,
is apparently not transparent enough.
Did we catch him red-handed or what, Phil? I think we found a smoking gun. And I was waiting to cover that article because I was like, it's too much of a coincidence if we just find one, right? But the fact that the Fed and the World Bank are taking the same stance, which is like, even though you're a currency, even though you're legal tender, even though Avanti and Kraken checked all the boxes, followed all the regulations, you still can't play. Like, dude, that tells me that they're absolutely petrified. They're scared. They don't know how to kill the honey badger. They just want it to go away. I think they thought for a long time if they just ignored it, it would go away. They pulled an ostrich, right? But, dude, man, you guys are going to have to suck it up eventually. If not, what's going to happen is more people are going to opt out of the system and just not participate in your system whatsoever. They don't get to win. It's what you always say. They don't get to win this in the end.
No. They don't.
Oh, man.
Beautiful, beautiful, man.
Frickin'
like how you put that together.
Frickin' crazy. But anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. The software releases are brought to you by CipherSafe. Check them out, cyphersafe.io. Definitely the best place to store your seed in the cipher wheel. Fireproof, waterproof. The link is down below. All right, we've got BTC Payserver version 1.3.6. The link is down below. Don't forget, for audio only, check us out. Anchor, Apple Podcast, Spotify. We are there.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the shitcoin exchanges, central banks, all the above, and the Bitcoin news from the blah blah perspective, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
The central banker's moat is getting smaller.